What is going on, guys? Chris here and welcome back to another video. It's been a little while, but I'm back and I am ready to start making videos again, starting with a nice and easy one. I actually just spent about 40 minutes trying to solve this puzzle and I absolutely screwed it up doing a very simple parity algorithm, so I'm putting that to the side for now. I'll be back probably in the next video with this one but in terms of just having a break and not throwing it across the room, I'm going to be doing this puzzle, which is the QiYi Duomo Pyraminx. I've had this for a little while. It's a pretty simple puzzle. But I got quite stuck on this one actually, just at the very beginning while I was trying to figure out what exactly was going on, because it doesn't look too complicated, but it's quite easy to get lost if you don't know what's going on and what's moving around where. So let's check this guy out. I'm actually very excited about this puzzle because this is sort of a series of non-WCA Pyraminxes that have been coming out from QiYi. We actually have the Clover Pyraminx and then also the Ancient Coin Pyraminx. So I'm really excited to get them as well and to try and solve them for you guys. But in the meantime, we have this one, a nice easy sort of beginner's one, I suppose. So let's just figure out what this is and let's get going. Alright, there is our thumbnail. Let's come back again and let's get started. So when I first got this puzzle, I thought I would have to solve it from the inside out. So I actually tried to solve it by getting these middle pieces to their respective layers like so, and then I tried to sledgehammer the rest of the pieces in one by one, and that just did not work, and I'll show you why. Because sledgehammering these edge pieces actually does alter the middle pieces. So unless you get really lucky with a solve, no matter how many times you go around trying to solve this and retain the centers, you're just going to move them, because it's sort of like a Jing's Pyraminx inside an actual Pyraminx, and these always move if you do a sledgehammer algorithm. So if you wanted to solve it that way, you'd have to line it up absolutely perfectly so that the edge you're sledgehammering in corresponds to the middle pieces, I guess these are centers, to the center pieces also moving to the exact right spot, which I'll be honest with you is quite hard. I didn't manage to do it myself because I figured out a much faster way of doing this puzzle, and I'm sure a lot of people who have this puzzle have also figured out how to solve it, because it is basically just a Pyraminx. So let's start from the very beginning. Let's give this a quick little scramble, not that it makes a huge amount of difference. Okay, so starting from here, you'd start as you would with any normal Pyraminx, I suppose, treating these as not necessarily the tips, but the kind of center edge pieces that you get on a normal Pyraminx. So you line up those tip / center edge pieces so that you kind of have a basis for the rest of your faces, which makes a lot of sense. We now know which face is green, which one's red, which one's blue, etc. Well, I guess there's just green left. So then also, like a Pyraminx, you want to solve the edge pieces. So we will do this layer by layer, and that's achieved by sledgehammering these edges in. Now, that's quite close to what my original effort was, but we don't want to worry about these middle center pieces at all to begin with. We can forget about them. So there's our first layer done with the corners or tips and then the edges. So then the next part is just as easy. It's just a Pyraminx algorithm, and in this case, well, again, total beginner here, but I'm assuming you all know your Pyraminx algorithms. It's just a very simple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 move algorithm to solve it. And typically that would mean your Pyraminx is now solved, except for perhaps the tips. Depends if you do the tips first or last, but there you go, that's your Pyraminx solved. But the issue with this puzzle, I guess, and the fact that it's a Duomo Pyraminx, kind of implies there's two parts to it, which I guess there is that we have these centers left to solve. Now this is where your sledgehammer comes in, because a sledgehammer will swap these two pieces and these two pieces simultaneously. So it's basically 3 sledgehammers in a row, or a Pyraminx equivalent of a sexy move, and that is R prime, L prime, no, R prime, L, R, L prime. Can't even get that right. So R prime, L, R, L prime, and then one more. Puzzle is solved. There you go. So that is that. Perfect, eh? Nice and easy. So this is an example. I just want to kind of show you guys of the setup I was trying to achieve when I was trying to solve this puzzle from the inside out. So what I would need to have done, I suppose, is have these center pieces all solved, and then a very specific 3 cycle to get this piece in here, this piece flipped this way over here, and then this piece flipped all the way around over here. And that is very easy to do if you didn't have these centers, because that is just a sexy move. But oh no, it's not. Let's have another go at that. Here we are. I'm making such a mess of this. Almost exactly the same thing though. This edge going here, this edge going here, this edge going all the way over here. But we would need to have this kind of weird setup with the center pieces, like I said before, swapping these two and these two. Now the reason a normal sexy move doesn't work is because when you do a cycle, you have to do 3, because 1 cycle will only swap these 3. So okay, let me just show you precisely what I mean. So here's our problem, I suppose. We have these 2 needing swapping and these 2 needing swapping. If I just do 1 sexy move, that fixes the centers, but it messes up our 3 cycle here, because you have to do it 3 times. But luckily, if we do it a second time, that resets our centers to be swapped here and here. And just by magic, I suppose, or by luck, or because a Pyraminx has 1, 2, 3 sides on each face, we 3 cycle it, which undoes the undoing that we did with the centers and fixes this cycle here. I made that so much more complicated than it needed to be. I just felt like I should have explained what I was trying to get at before, when I explained kind of like my normal method. But luckily we got the solve out of the way right away, so if anyone was uncertain how to solve this, you can totally ignore the last 5 minutes. I don't know, this is a very simple puzzle, but I'm glad I managed to have some fun, at least trying to figure out some of the more advanced aspects of it, I suppose, because if you do break it down, sexy moves are very, very straightforward. But the actual understanding behind what's being cycled and why, that's quite fascinating to me at the very least, and it definitely helps when you're solving different puzzles to figure out what a different algorithm will do to different pieces. So that's it, that's the Duomo Pyraminx. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I'm kind of excited to go more into the whys of why puzzles work, especially with the more simpler puzzles such as this one, and hopefully you guys enjoy that. If not, I hope I have managed to help you solve this puzzle. If not, I'm sorry for wasting your time. But thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have, really excited to be making videos again, and I can't wait to hear what you guys think. So remember, give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed, leave a comment and let me know what you want to see next, and some moral support for this puzzle, which I definitely am having way too much of a hard time solving. And then of course subscribe and you'll be notified whenever I make a new video. So have a fantastic day, guys, and I'll see you next time.